Okay. I'm the only one that can beat Oleksandr Usyk, Jarrell Miller proclaims. And let me counterpunch. You know, the crazy thing about a fight between Jarrell Miller and Oleksandr Usyk, it would be a very interesting fight. There's two ways to look at this fight. You can look at this fight like, okay, Bull versus the Matador. Absolutely. You know, Usyk giving feints, moving, boxing, putting combinations together, you know, touching Jarrell Miller round after round, round after round. Then the Bull, Miller, coming forward, taking shots, gesturing, you know, doing all this crazy stuff in the ring, you know, attacking when he can. And I think that type of fight would be probably something more similar to a Chisora Usyk fight. If you guys can remember Derek Chisora fighting Usyk, a lot of people, you know, especially a lot of my UK peeps, think, you know, Chisora, you know, gave Oleksandr Usyk a good enough fight to either have a draw, or a lot of people thought that he beat Usyk, right? And looking at Jarrell's style as compared to Derek's style, it's a similar style. That's why I wanted to see Jarrell Miller versus Derek Chisora in the first place, right? Because those guys fought alike. They came forward and they threw a lot of punches. You know, if they beat you, they beat you, you know, but they're going to keep moving forward. You're not going to stop them from moving forward. The only way you do that is to stop them, period, you know. I think at 36 years of age, you know, because people change in age. And then, of course, we have Oleksandr Usyk, 38 years old. A fight between Jarrell Miller, if he still has it, you know what I'm saying? If he still has it, if Oleksandr Usyk still has it, I think Oleksandr Usyk has a better chance of still having it than Jarrell Miller, to be honest with you, because, you know, Jarrell Miller had a good fight with Andy Ruiz, but Andy Ruiz wasn't as mobile as someone like Usyk will ever be. So, you know, does Jarrell Miller have the same ability, have the same energy, have the same stamina to keep up with Oleksandr Usyk? You see what I mean? Or will Oleksandr Usyk get old overnight? That's what I'm thinking about. So let's just assume that they do. They both still have it. Let's just assume that. I see a pretty good fight. I see a fight, you know, easily won by Usyk just outboxing Jarrell Miller, doing what he does. Because, see, what Jarrell Miller doesn't understand is that Oleksandr Usyk is not that small. You know what I mean? He's, you know, he's thinking, well, he's a lot smaller than me. You know, I am not really respecting him, you know, as a heavyweight anyway. He's considered a smaller heavyweight compared to me. Everybody's small damn near compared to, you know, Jarrell Miller, except somebody like Zhang or Bakali, right? So, you know, he's going to have that mindset. But when people get in there with Usyk, they find out this is not a small guy. He's just smaller than me. And guess what? He's kicking my ass too. You know what I'm saying? So Usyk is not what people think he is. Usyk thinks he's somebody just going to just dance around like a Tyson Fury. Usyk doesn't really do that. He does things to make you respect him. And in fact, in the Derek Chisora fight, Oleksandr Usyk showed Derek Chisora like, yo, this is why you're fighting me. And this is what I'm doing to you. He made Derek Chisora respect him by catching him with shots that did sting him and buckle him at times, okay? Like those ass ends of those rounds. You know, Usyk, you know, put those punches together, moving backwards, but chopping that chin of Chisora, getting those punches in, okay? Making Chisora move back a bit because he knew, like, yo, this punch really touched me and I respect this guy's punching power. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people wouldn't respect it. Because remember, when he fought Derek Chisora, it was just his second fight. It was just his second fight in the heavyweight division. You know, Witherspoon, then Chisora, then Joshua. Okay, so, you know, a lot of people didn't really know what he had to offer at the heavyweight division. They just knew he was a superb cruiserweight. But that ain't heavyweight. So for Jarrell Miller saying, I'm the only one that can do it, you know, I think his chin can take the shots. But can you deal with the constant pressure if that's the case? Can you deal with that movement? You know, and I know Jarrell Miller's accustomed to just walking you down, you know, But will that be enough against Oleksandr Usyk just to walk you down? No, I don't think so. Because Jarrell Miller coming at you, you know, and you're getting caught with shots, he's going to be doing that too much, and it's going to get uncomfortable. Because if any of those shots that Jarrell doesn't see, those will make you jump. Those will make you back up just a bit, to take a step back after getting caught with a shot, bow, that you don't see, like Daniel Dubois. Why do you think Daniel Dubois actually took a knee? Because the shot that he got caught with, it stunned him, and he didn't want to get caught with another stunning shot. Well, Usyk has those ability. He has that ability to do those things. That's what he does. You know, that guy, he feints at you, bow, then all of a sudden you're like, oh, snap, I didn't even know I was going to get hit with that type of punch right there. So I do think at the end of the day, at the very end of the day, that Jarrell Miller taking on Oleksandr Usyk will be a good fight. You guys tell me what you think about Jarrell Miller claiming that he's the only one that can beat Oleksandr Usyk. Of course, please subscribe, and you guys been Counterpunch. Peace!